Hi, welcome to the Burlington School District's Commissioner Corner here at CCTV. I am thrilled to welcome back Senior Project Manager Brian Leet from Freeman French Freeman. We are going to give you an update today on our Burlington High School and Burlington Technical Center campus development. So welcome, Brian.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Every few months, it's great to come back and talk with everybody about the progress of the construction at the high school. Things are going great, and I'm looking forward to just bringing you up to speed and answering questions that you might have heard or are interested in.
That is wonderful. Let's start. So give us some, I'll let you drive the agenda so that you have, I know you wrote down a wealth of things.
Yeah, we've got a number of things. Just the big picture is we're halfway there. The construction, actually in December, we reached the halfway point of the construction schedule. We're still on track, we're still on budget, and for anyone who has not been up North Avenue in the last 6 months, there's a building there now. It's pretty exciting to go by and see. And so what we'd like to do today is kind of do a little bit of a photographic tour. Might feel a little bit like the old slideshows back when people came back from vacation.
No,
but we're going to look at some pictures of
Great.
the building and go ahead and talk about the progress of the construction. So here we see, and I want to, right off the top, give thanks to VIS and David Armstrong, who takes drone pictures every week as weather allows to allow us to see the progress of construction.
Fantastic.
And this is yesterday, so we can see the south side of the building, Institute Road across the bottom of the screen, and the area where the vehicles are kind of pulled up in front of the building is the location of the new access drive. The main entry at the center, classroom wing on the right, and the Arts and Technical Center wing on the left.
Fantastic.
And as we kind of zip around the building, we're now coming to the east side. We can see the east-facing classrooms, so that's becomes the view aerial, but the view that you would get from North Avenue as you come by.
Yeah.
And then from the north side of the building, we can see what we call the north entrance, also to the commons, the gymnasium box to the right, and Burlington Bay and Burlington in the distance.
That is great to see this picture because a lot of people have not seen the north side of the building, which is technically the back of the building that's built into the hill. So this is really interesting to see it from this perspective. And yes, you see the city limits far off south and the lake. And it is so interesting to see it from this side. It's so great to see the windows on that side, even though it's north facing, and the perspective.
Those areas, kind of a few things we're looking at here. To the left, as you pointed out, there's windows. That's actually kind of the guidance office suite and counseling suite. In the center, we have the entry from there are parking trays on this side of the building. Directly above that is a new space we're excited about. It's a space that the old high school did not have, which we're calling a multi-use forum. So it will be for small to mid-sized gatherings, maybe 100 students in a room.
Fantastic.
And they will have a beautiful view up to the north. And then to the right, as I mentioned, the gym, and also below that are some mechanical spaces as well as the wood shop and community entry for the community gym.
And where the diggers are, so yes, this view here, these are the levels of parking for staff, faculty, and
so there's kind of a lower and an upper level for the parking there. Here we're seeing down around to the west side of the building, and as we come around to the west, we'll see the loading dock for the facility. So that's another thing that the old high school really did not have a good solution for, which is taking deliveries and shipping out meals and all the things that happen every day. At a school like this. Yeah. And then the view from the southwest, kind of from the bottom of the sports fields.
Right.
So that's kind of our wrap around the building, and a brief, for those of you who have been following the project, this is kind of exciting to just see that we have roof.
Wow.
This is an important step, especially for doing construction through the winter. We have roof across the entire building, about 100,000 square feet of roof area. And that has allowed them to close in with walls and temporary protection in the window openings. I'd say about 80 to 90% of the interior space to proceed with work throughout the winter.
Fantastic.
And so that's a great vision there. And then one other thing that's of note, and this is on the south side of the road. So at the bottom left of the screen, you're seeing the track and field, which under a separate project the district done are also newly replenished.
Yes,
and
the turf.
we're looking forward to seeing that in the spring and using that in the spring. But this is the stormwater pond. All of the water that is collected on these sites comes down through this area, and this is a engineered water treatment. Essentially, it allows the solids and the pollutants that are in the water to settle out as it goes over a series of naturalized obstacles before it then flows down into the lake, which of course is our next door neighbor.
Fantastic. So I know this was, and we can talk about it briefly, you're looking at the visitor side of the field, or there's actually both the team sides where the teams sit,
Yeah.
And this is between BHS field and the campgrounds and then the lake. And so I know federal dollars helped us with this project. This was a must based on Vermont law, environmental law, to redo it.
I believe
and
state money as
state
well.
money and federal money.
Was part of the
Fantastic.
solution here.
Thank you
And
so much for providing that picture, because I know
excited
that
to see
was
this progress, and this is important work to do at this time of year, so that this is all in place as the spring comes
Yes.
and melt off
Yep.
from the construction happens.
Thank you for including that.
So now we're going to take a little walk by the building and into the building. So again, this is the southeast corner. If you were walking to the building from North Avenue, you'd come to an area like this. On the right, you can see what we call the east classrooms at the very right edge of the image. Right now, it's just temporary plastic, but that will be both a granite wall and a open glass facade. And then directly next to that is a stair tower, and you can see the large opening there. That will be glass, so that as you come up and down the stairs, you have views, and then the classrooms extending down. Continuing with the classroom wings as we come by, and it might be a little bit hard to see, but if you have if you can spot, there's kind of some silver verticals on some of these windows. Those are the locations where sunscreens will be attached to the windows, so there'll be externally projecting sunshades on the south side of the building.
Great.
Here's our main entrance. So we have the entry at the level 1. The next level up is the second level of the commons. We'll have a small outdoor deck, and then the level above that is what we call the learning commons, or the library space.
Great. Great.
And then we get down to the west end of the building, and we're looking into the location of the Burlington Technical Center entry, which is where we'll actually enter the building, because this is the farthest along. The project was built by Whiting Turner from the west to the east, so this spot at the west end of the building is the first to receive interior finishes.
Great.
And so when you go inside, we've got spaces. So this is one of the first rooms to actually get finished out with drywall. We don't obviously have a ceiling or windows yet, so still a lot of work to do, but a small conference room for the technical center, and you see a little receiver on the wall for a TV monitor,
Yeah.
and all the infrastructure for audio visuals.
Great.
Also on that lower level, we'll have a locker room for visiting teams. So that's this
Great.
space.
What is all the metal called? Bracing or?
So that's metal studs. So
Studs.
we call it cold formed metal framing. It's instead of traditional, in the United States, we often use 2x4s
Yes.
or 2x6s. But because of the construction type of this building, we need to use non-combustible materials.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's all metal studs. This is the digital media room. This is one of the tech center programs, and they do, as one of their activities, sound recordings. So they play instruments, they play drums or bass or whatever. So in order to prevent sound So this, this is a current picture from yesterday. The next three are going to be the history of this space. This is about 2 months ago. You can see those clips up on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Those are engineered individual springs to hold up this system, which is insulation bats and a framework,
Yes. Yep.
to then form a secondary hanging ceiling
Great.
that is in that space that then the ductwork and all the systems of the room hang from. And all of that ceiling is engineered based on the weight of the equipment that's hanging from it, so that when noise is made in the room, that ceiling can vibrate separately from the structure above and keep the noise from transferring up to the classroom that is located directly above it.
So great to see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps involved in completing it. Amazing.
And it's a teamwork effort with all the partners. It required obviously the manufacturer of those specific springs, but also the manufacturer and installer of the ductwork, the sprinkler piping, the lighting systems, the ceiling drywall, to all figure out their pieces, coordinate everything before
size
we
and
built
shape.
it.
Right, amazing, very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
And again, this is the downstairs corridor, just to show we're about ready to put the drywall on the walls.
Yeah.
And so in the next few weeks, this lowest level of the building will become, a finished out space. Here's an example, and I know we've had some discussions in the past about the bathrooms and the importance of having flexibility. So the project in many of the public spaces like this has single occupant stalls and a shared sink area, and that is off of the corridor. So we're standing here in the corridor, we're looking into what would be the bathroom. You're seeing 3 doors that would each enter a stall, and then you see a window between the corridor and that space. On the other side of that window will be a row of sinks.
Got
So
it.
that when people come out of the stalls, they come out and they can wash their hands in that shared area.
Got it.
There are also full baths, or not full, but toilet and sink within the room type of baths, ADA sized throughout the building. So for people who, for whatever reason, need some privacy, that's available. And then in the classroom wing, there are some traditional boys and girls rooms for students who are more comfortable in a traditional boys and girls room. So we really want to make it so that wherever you are in the building, you can find a bathroom that you're comfortable with.
Great, thank you for that. I know students who are involved in that, and I know we talked about those things that are important, and so thank you for
and it's
explaining that.
exciting to hear where the students are at and see the energy around some of these topics, and also this solution is on the forefront of what we're seeing nationally. There are architectural communities around these topics, and we think we're participating. We're not doing things that have not been done before, but we have the opportunity in a new building to be at the forefront of the thinking and accommodations.
Thank you for explaining that.
So this is going up to the next level. So we're now on what we are calling level 1, which is the level from the main entry. And
What do you call the ground level?
We're calling it lower level.
Lower level.
Lower it's kind of, and that's a space that's essentially for the technical center, level 1. This is the space within the main commons. If you go in and back and to the left, and we're looking into the kitchen.
Yes.
So the students would be coming in either the door that's directly in front of us, or at the far end of the image is another door into this space, and then in between is a larger opening which will have an overhead door to open and close
Yeah,
it.
a garage door.
So that 2 lines of students can efficiently flow into that space, get meals, and come back out into the cafeteria.
Great.
Behind the kitchen and cafeteria, we have the locker rooms. A lot of people are used to schools that are made with concrete block. There's a number of reasons: cost, durability, efficiency, and also just occupant comfort to not use concrete block everywhere. But one of the areas we did feel was very important for durability was locker rooms.
Yeah.
So the locker room areas are fully built with concrete block walls.
Got it.
And this is kind of what it looks like in some of those areas where it's the locker rooms to one side and then classrooms to the other.
Yeah.
So again, this is looking down the corridor, and you can kind of see some light coming in. That's actually
Yes.
coming through the plastic, but the ends of the corridors throughout the building where we weren't underground have daylight. So you're always walking towards a light and a view to the outside when you're in these corridors.
So great to know.
This is a fun little, as we go through a project, spaces get used along the way. This is actually going to be the weights room, the weight and fitness space. But in the meantime, it's a good size and very central location for the contractor to set up some tables so
Break
that their
time.
workers have a place to eat lunch that's not just at
Fantastic.
random around the building.
Right. That's so smart.
And then right directly, and I'm actually taking this picture through a window that exists between the corridor and that room.
Okay.
And then here is the adjacent space, a little dance studio. Again, looking back now at the corridor, and you can see the windows with some people standing in them in the distance in that picture.
Very nice and
So-
cleanly kept.
Yeah, it's a very well-kept job site, and this picture is a good example of that as well. This is actually on that same, actually going up one level on the second level, looking back across the entry commons. So this is looking to the south, as if you had just come in that north entry, that picture that we talked about.
Yes.
People hadn't had the chance
Yes.
to see the view. If you came in, you would have this view to the south. Now, the upper portions, there will be some walls and some windows up there, but also at the very top, you'll see kind of a
Yeah.
wood frame structure. That's a temporary protection for the winter.
Yes.
That actually will be a skylight.
Yeah.
So there will be daylight coming in through there.
So
And then
the rear, the north entrance, you enter on the first level?
on
not
the
ground?
second level.
Okay.
So the entry on the south side of the building is on level 1.
Yes.
And the entry on the north side of the building is on level 2.
Got it.
And there's 16 feet difference. So that was one of the things, as you know, that is a very steep site. And
Yes.
so one of the ways to fit the building into the site was to step it up as we went. So the north entry and also the lowest level of that east classroom tower that we saw is level 2.
Got it.
So at the east end of the building it's 2, and the west end of the building it's the lower level.
Got it. Thank you for explaining that.
And then stepping into one of the spaces that's really just exciting to go in, this beautiful new gym. So this is also on level 2, on that same level. I happened to walk in as the sun was kind of coming down into the plastic currently surrounding the
Right.
space, but that will be a translucent panel, so you will get natural daylight into the space, much as is seen here.
Right.
And you can start to see the effect in that big
So
gym.
happy there's windows up there. That is amazing.
And it also, we're starting to see them get paint onto the steel on the block. The paint on the steel is actually, the work they're doing currently is a special fireproofing paint. It's
I've
called
noted.
intumescent paint, and that allows, if it is exposed to heat, it swells up, it becomes like bubbly, and it protects the steel from getting too hot too quickly in the event of a fire.
Very cool.
And now, walking to the other side of the commons on the second level, we're standing on the balcony looking at the auditorium. So you can start to see they are actually this week in the process of pouring the slab that forms the floor of the auditorium. It's the last key slab of the project, partly because it's one of the most complicated. You have slopes, you have steps, you have ramps, all those things that allow people to see clearly as they move
Wow.
around the space.
Yeah.
So here we're kind of seeing the stage. To the left, we're seeing the ramp that gets you down to the front of the seating, and you can see the arcs of the sloped pattern
Yes.
that gets you down to the seats.
Wow. Beautiful.
Another view of the same thing. So this is if you were actually on the wing of the balcony, this is the view you would have. You can see the stage immediately to the right of where the workers are standing.
Right.
And the seating would start immediately to their left.
Wow. It's so funny. The rake of it looks inverted. You know, like it's amazing.
Yeah, it's always challenging, especially in photos that are a little fisheye, to see all the.
I'm so appreciative of every angle that you took. This is so nice for our viewers.
This is as we've said, an exciting space, a different sort of space. You can really start to feel how vertical this theater is, which is very different, I think, from many high school theaters.
Flat, right.
And then just a couple more images to get a view of, the progress in other. This is over in the C, what we call C building, the eastmost tower. This is the classrooms, starting to see a typical corridor begin to come together where the classrooms are.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just very excited by having daylight into the stairs. We've all been in stairs like this that are just kind of dull,
yes,
lifeless
without
spaces.
A doubt. Yeah.
So we're getting opportunity to have daylight and views in and out of the stairs pretty much throughout.
Yeah, and I will say, I mean, the last 4 years, students at BHS and Macy's downtown, the interior, the stairwells that we use were never meant for Macy's customers. So they're sheetrock with paint. They look like they're unfinished. So to see a stair bank with windows will be so appreciated.
And stairs are challenging places in schools because they take abuse, and they really are functional. There's no, they're not. It's not like in your home where your stair is also part of the decor.
Yes.
So we don't want to spend a lot of money trying to make the stairs something they aren't. But so really our strategy is we have beautiful nature here in Vermont.
Yes.
Let's direct your attention outside, bring the light in.
Yes,
wonderful. And just do it that way.
Wonderful. Thank you.
And then this view is, again, back to the Commons up on the top level. And this level will not be in the finished construction open the way it is currently. There will be a wall, but also a window that wraps all the way around so that the noise and hubbub of the first and second levels, which are the arrival spot, the cafeteria, the place where people flow in and out of both events at the gym and events in the auditorium.
Yes.
That's all that. Up here, it's the library.
Yes, no.
So we needed some separation. There's also some code reasons for that separation, but you will have the windows here, so you will be able to step very much to this view. You can see the orange caution tape below me. That is right around where the window will be, and you'll be able to look down and see activity, and see what's going on.
Understandably, yeah.
Or if your friend is downstairs and you want to run down the stairs and say hi. Yeah.
Great.
So that's kind of a quick tour through the status of the construction, visually.
Wonderful.
It's very impressive how quickly things are moving. We are on track, as I said, for the April 2nd, 2026 building completion. That is a date that Whiting Turner will be turning over the building for the school district to then bring in furniture, do all those sorts of things.
That's great.
That's like the big overview.
So
I'm curious what questions you come up
so
with.
when we think of all what we've just witnessed, plumbing is ongoing, electricity throughout the building ongoing, so all HVAC.
Yes, so there's many I think at this point in the project, pretty much every trade is engaged. We have site work going on, as we saw with that detention pond. We have framing and exterior work. They're putting windows in. They're putting in plumbing, mechanical systems, electrical systems, data systems. We've just brought audio-visual onto the team.
Okay.
Or we're bringing them on, and that's we're excited for that. That's we're really bringing Burlington into the 21st century. So we're going to have every classroom will have its monitors. Every classroom will have the technology in place for audio reinforcement, so that a teacher can wear a wireless mic and have their voice reinforced by the speakers in the room, or even if they don't feel they need that, if they have a student who's wearing a loop-style hearing aid and just needs to be able to get that additional assistance on understanding and hearing the teacher. About 2/3 of the classrooms have what we call capture technology, which means at the rear of the classroom there's a camera that is set up and tracks the teacher and the presentation, and you can use that either for a video conferencing type of arrangement, or if you just have a teacher who wants to record a particular class and make it available for students afterwards.
Right. Oh, capture.
So we
that's
have,
great.
yeah, so that's a level of technology that not only does the district not have, but probably could not have in a space like the downtown Macy's, because you need the other things we put in place first, the acoustical control and the infrastructure. And then we have also, and I'm very excited about this, 6 what we call active learning classrooms. So this is for classes that are set up with teachers really ready to use technology in their breakout sessions with students. So you have a main display, and then you have 4 additional monitors, and the students can gather in groups at those monitors, work on projects using a shared monitor, transfer that image up to the main display, talk as a group, transfer it back to their display, and go back and forth between groups.
So exciting.
It's very exciting. I think it's going to open up some possibilities for the teachers who want to teach that way. And of course, you know, for the teachers who don't need it, the biggest thing I'm excited about is quiet classrooms. We've put a lot of effort and investment into making sure that even the mechanical systems aren't too loud. So if you're in your classroom and, you know, the noise that you're going to have is the noise you've decided to make, not stuff coming in from somewhere else.
Amazing. Well, thank you for taking us. It's January, the first 2 weeks in January. Like you said, we reached the halfway mark in December. It is always so great to get an update and a visual. And I love all your stats that we'll share online with our updates as we do with our communications director.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to go through a few of them. We have, you know, they're just fun to talk about. So it's easy to lose track. You know, we get down in the weeds. I certainly get down into all the details. So,
yes.
255,000 square foot building, 100,000 square feet of roof area. So just that alone is phenomenal to me. Yeah. I did some takeoffs today to count a few other things on the project. So rooms counting also corridors and closets and all that, you know, every space that's defined in the building. We have 562 of them in this building. Amazing. And I know, and you asked at the kind of in response to that, about 85 of them are classified as true teaching spaces. Yes. And as I said, some of those are, you know, they're closets or janitor's closets or whatever, but they're all spaces we need to think about in design. We have 592 doors in the building. We have 8 stair towers, 3 elevators, the 4 main entrances that we talked about. So that's the south entrance, the main off the access road, the north entrance, the main one from the parking lot, the main entrance for the Burlington Technical Center in the southwest corner, and then up in the northwest corner, a entrance for the community gym that could be used, I think, primarily during non-school hours when you want to keep the rest of the building locked away. Right. And allow the community come in and use it. The community gym, there's some bathrooms there, there's a nursing room there. Wow. And that's an opportunity to use the building for the community without needing to have the community occupying the whole of it.
Right.
Because
that was something
with such a big building,
right.
It's a lot to manage, it's a lot of security to make sure you're on top of.
Yeah. And even with those stats, we did build this building. We didn't go grandiose. We worked within our footprint that we were.
It's very close, and it's extremely close in square footage to the buildings that were taken down. Yeah. We were able to add more useful space, like a third space to be the community gym or the multi-use forum, and some things like that, primarily because instead of having a lot of corridors and passageways and you know, hamster trails, whatever you wanted to call those bridges that there used to be at BHS.
Isolation.
Those because we don't have all of that, we have a much more efficient way to get around, and so the space is all basically 2 loops of corridors in that central commons, and then the rooms off of them.
And that was, we said, the cohesiveness of the campus at Macy's provided more cross collaboration, provided opportunities for, you know, less travel and more efficiencies, most importantly, as well.
One other thing I just, you mentioned electrical before. One other number I had is right now when the building opens, we will have 7 level 2 EV charging stations on the campus. And those are distributed, so there's one kind of where guests might be, there's a couple where the school district might have fleet vehicles, and then there are, I think, 4 where staff or other folks might park on the upper lots. In addition to that, we've got 2 transformers on site. One is powering the building, but the other one is there just for that EV system. And there's a capacity to add up to 22 more vehicles worth of level 2 EV charging.
Wonderful. I had seen 14 and I wasn't sure, so that's great to know that it's like 20, that we're thinking for the future.
So we have the conduit in the
ourselves.
ground, and we have the transformer in place, and that's going to depend on use and need. Level 2 stations aren't, they aren't the solution. They're not fast charging, but for people who are there for half of a day, they will be very useful.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I know there's more, but we're wrapping up. Thank you, viewers, for tuning in. And those, if you have further questions, please email us, Claire Wool as board chair. And we also, on our website, bsdvt.org, we have a drop-down menu for the district that says the BHS BTC campus and its development, and we update it regularly. So thank you, Brian,
thank you.
again. It is so special to have the senior project manager here with us on a consistent basis.
It's
we
been a
greatly
pleasure.
appreciate your time and your expertise and professionalism. So with that, we will sign off. Thank you so much again, and we'll be in touch in a couple more months for the next update. Thank you.